Chris. Hello, humans of the universe, heroes, villains, and everything between. I'm Pokemo, and today we're going to be talking about, you guessed it, Steve. No, okay. We're talking about Chris, the Chris's, who's the best. So, before we get started, I want to lay down some basic rules for this. Rules. If all of them are in a movie, it can't be used. So no Avengers or Infinity Saga. It's 4 points for the highest in each round, 3 points for the second highest, and so on. Also, if multiple of them are in a movie but they're not important to the main plot, or there are only like 2 of them in there, then I'm gonna include it for a certain one if they're the main guy, like Star Trek. So there are 9 different categories: box office, review score, franchise, roles, acting skill, net worth, shows, worst movies, and awards. So the only one of these that's up to personal taste is acting skill, so we'll have a bit of a conversation when we get to that. So this video was supposed to come out a long time ago, so if I mention the fact that the Dungeons and Dragons movie hasn't come out, that's because it hadn't at the time. I wasn't able to take this on when I started the channel, but now it's going to be something that I can do and finish. So let's get started with the box office scores. So let's get started. First off, box office earnings. So we'll start with Chris Evans and work our way through. So we're going to have 3 highest grossing films for each. So Chris Evans' highest grossing films are Captain America, The First Avenger, Captain America the Winter Soldier, and Captain America Civil War. Okay, so let's move on to Chris Pine. Chris Pine's highest grossing movie is Wonder Woman, and his second highest grossing movie is Star Trek Into the Darkness, and his third highest grossing movie is Star Trek. Now let's move on to Chris Hemsworth. His first one is Thor Ragnarok, his second one is Thor Love and Thunder, and his third one is Thor The Dark World. Chris Pratt's 3 highest grossing movies are Jurassic World, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and Jurassic World Dominion. So I'll show how much each of those movies made while I'm talking about this for editor me. So the next one is Tomato Meter scores. I was going to use IMDb, but I figured more people I don't think I use IMDb more, but I'm not really sure, so I just stuck to Rotten Tomato for this one. If you want me to recheck these, I might put something in the comments down below or in the description of this video saying some other scores or something, if anything changed or something like that. So Chris Evans' 3 top rated movies are Superpower Dogs 100%, Knives Out 97%, and Snowpiercer 94%. Chris Pine, 4 movies. The last one is Because of Love. Atosha Witch is a documentary where he plays himself. That's why I didn't include it. I mean, I did include it. I'm just telling you that it's a documentary. It's in here. It's in the list. So his highest rated movies are Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 97%, Love Atosha 97%. Sorry if I'm not saying that properly. And Hell or High Water 97%. I also want to mention Star Trek at a 94% and Wonder Woman at a 94%. Just wanted to say those. Wonder Woman's at 93, not 94. Put that in the edit. Now Chris Hemsworth. How they almost tricked me into putting Andy Irons' Kissed by God on the list, but Chris Hemsworth is just the executive producer on it. Anyways, it was 100% on Rotten Tomato. So his highest rated movie is Thor Ragnarok at 93%, then The Cabin in the Woods at 92%, and last but not least, Rush at 88%. Chris Pratt's 3 highest rated movies are The Lego Movie 96%, Moneyball 94%, and Her 94%. I know he's not like a main person in Moneyball and Her, but he is in them. Chris Pine and Chris Evans are tied, so I took their 4th best movie, and whichever one was higher won. So Chris Pine won. He was higher. My voice is sounding a little off. If it's bothering you, sorry. So the next thing is franchises. So for Chris Evans, his 3 biggest franchises are Marvel, Captain America 7 movies, Marvel the Human Torch 2 movies, and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World 1 movie. He didn't have a 3rd franchise, so I just put that one. I was considering doing Knives Out, but it's just 1 movie, so I didn't. It would have still been the same outcome. So Chris Pine has Star Trek 3 movies, in DC/Wonder Woman he has 2 movies, and in Dungeons and Dragons he has 1 movie. It hasn't come out yet. Well, it has now that I'm recording this, but it hadn't at the time that I wrote this, which was like a year ago or something. I could have also done Marvel, but he's only in 1 movie, so again, it wouldn't have made a difference. Chris Hemsworth, Marvel, as Thor, he has 8 movies. The Huntsman, he has 2 movies. Ghostbusters, he has 1 movie. Now for Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt in Marvel has 4 movies, in Jurassic World 3 movies, and in the Lego World 2 movies. And to mention, he will be Mario, but that movie hasn't come out yet. Again, this was created a long time ago. The movie has come out yet. I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't really, I wasn't expecting anything mind-blowing, but I did like it. It was okay. Roles. These are movies outside of their main franchises and outside of their 3 best movies. Chris Evans has Gifted, 73%. He has Sunshine, 76%. And The Iceman, 66%. I was supposed to watch and review these movies, but I don't have time for that. Maybe I'll do it in a future video. Unstoppable has 87%. I actually quite like this movie. I thought it was pretty good. It was pretty good. That's what I have to say. Z for Zachary, 79%. It's an unexpected film. The movie leaves you on a cliffhanger, but it's enjoyable, unlike most cliffhanger movies like Dreamland. I guess I mean more of an abrupt ending in other movies than a cliffhanger ending. Oh yeah, and Margot Robbie's in it. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. And Stretch has an 88%. I didn't get a chance to watch that one yet. Sorry. Chris Hemsworth. Extraction, 67%. It's the Netflix movie series that he has. Maybe I should have put that as one of his franchises, but I didn't, so I guess that's over. A Perfect Getaway, 62%. And then Bad Times at the El Royale. I don't watch a lot of Chris Hemsworth movies, or a lot of movies that he's in, is what I mean. Because I'm pretty sure he's not the main character in all 3 of these. But next up, Chris Pratt. Zero Dark 30, 91%. Wanted, 73%. Cool action movie with a decent plot, seeable twist though. Onward, 88%. It's a good movie. It's a fun for the family and for yourself. It has a heartwarming ending that is different than the usual, I guess. Acting skills. This one's my opinion and won't really go into the final thing. So Chris Pine is the best one for me in my eyes. Then I'd probably put Chris Evans, Chris Pratt, and then Chris Hemsworth. The last 2 are up for interpretation on Chris Pine and Chris Hemsworth, but I think they do good jobs in Marvel. And then Chris Pratt had Jurassic Park 2, so. Net worth. Money. Chris Evans. I thought it would be higher, but I guess not. 80 million. I wish I had that kind of money. Well, it's all of it. Not his current money anyways. I don't know how much he has now. Chris Pine, 35 million net worth. Chris Hemsworth, 130 million. So how does he have the highest net worth? Is the whole bill of the film going to him? Chris Pratt, 80 million. There's a tie with Chris Evans and Chris Pratt, so I let height decide. Chris Pratt is 6'2". Chris Evans is 6 foot. He is the shortest. He's the shortest Chris, lol. Chris Pratt won second. So we're doing shows now. Chris Evans has Defending Jacob, 72%. So it was a pretty good show. I thought it had great acting and a crazy ending. Chris Pine, I Am the Night, 73%. Chris Hemsworth's no shows. I should have checked this before I added this as an option. Anyways, he appeared in some Australian stuff, so there's that. The Princess Elephant, Margot Robbie was also a guest star on that show. Well, not a guest star, she was on that show. Chris Pratt has Parks and Recreation, 93%. Now for their worst movies. These are the movies that have the lowest percentage for each of them. Chris Evans, Playing It Cool, 14% on Rotten Tomato. Chris Pine, 14%, Just My Luck on Rotten Tomato. Chris Hemsworth, Red Dawn, 14% on Rotten Tomato. Chris Pratt's movie has a 4%. It's just that the movie's called 43. You have a triple tie, so the second lowest rated movie will have to do. Chris Evans has 14%, so we will use that one. It's London for him. Then for Pine, it's his lowest is 25%. It's Blind Dating. Now last but not least, Chris Hemsworth, The Huntsman. Winter War was a 19, so Chris Pine wins. Awards. There aren't that many good awards, but here we go. Chris Evans, 8 awards in total. Chris Pine, 8 wins. Chris Hemsworth's Logie is an Australian award, 14 awards. And Chris Pratt, 18 awards. Chris Pine and Chris Evans tied awards, so I gave it to Chris Pine because his were better, and he had it for better movies, not just Marvel. The final score actually surprised me. Let me show you. Box office. Pratt got first place for box office, Hemsworth got second place, Evans was in third, and Pine was last. In review scores, Chris Pine got the highest, Evans was in second place, and Pratt was in third, leaving Hemsworth last. For franchises, Hemsworth got the most points, then Chris Evans, and Pratt, and then Pine. Now for roles. Pine wins in the roles department, then Evans is behind Pratt, and Hemsworth is in last. For net worth, Hemsworth has the highest, Pratt is in second, Evans is in third, and Chris is last. Now for shows, Pratt is first, Chris Pine is second, Chris Evans is third, and Hemsworth is last. For their worst movies, Chris Pine is in first, Hemsworth is in second, Evans is in third, and Pratt is last. For their awards, Pratt's first, Hemsworth is second, Chris is third, and Evans is last. Here are the final scores. That's weird, but statistics don't care what you think. I was doing some research on how much these actors get paid per movie and what their highest paying film is. Not including box office percentages, Chris Pine is apparently he gets anywhere from 5 million to 10 million per movie these days, which is less than I thought. I hate using net worth for things, so I might change this, but it's the same scoring anyways. Chris Evans' average pay is 15 to 20 million per movie. These days, Chris Hemsworth is about 20 million, and his biggest haul is around 80 million for Endgame. It's crazy. Chris Pratt gets from 1.5 million to 20 million, which makes no sense. He gets paid 1.5 for each episode of Prime Video's The Terminal List. Chris Pine is 13 million for Star Trek 2, and Evans' highest role seems to be 18 million. But I could be wrong anyways. It doesn't change the score because it's the same order, but they still don't make as much as The Rock, that asshole. If I had the kind of money, I would take over the world. Anyways, the script is really long and it's late, so I guess bye. As usual, stay cool, stay weird, stay you. I hope you enjoyed this video. The final victor was Chris Pratt. Put this part about Chris Pratt being the final victor before the end. So Chris Pratt won out on all of these. Pretty cool, I guess. Not really. I don't really care that much about him, but yeah, that's the scoring. Like it or leave it. That doesn't make any sense. Comment down below anything that you have to say. Now put the part where I end the video here. Okay, cool.